Welcome. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Chantal. Yeah, so good evening, everybody. And just by how we welcome people, and when you want to show appreciation, we do this online, right? So we can't clap because obviously clapping doesn't come across well on here, but this is how we show appreciation. So when you see us doing that or doing this, that's not spastic, that's that's appreciation. So our theme tonight is it's okay to not be okay. And I think in the world we live in today, we try and put on a brave face often, and we just say, I'm fine. You know, when someone greets you and, and you're not really fine, but you just say, I'm fine. It's maybe a time just to pause and say, no, no, no. How are you really? I want to know. And I think just to be able to not be okay, it gives us space to breathe and appreciate each other deeper. So that's the theme for tonight. It's okay not to be okay. So we have a few guests that we'd like to introduce to you tonight. But first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to our competition winners of this past weekend. Now, I note that Lawrence and Mina are not on the call. I know Mina excused herself, but Lawrence is not on the call yet. But I am going to do the appreciation and congratulations to them. We had our divisional area contest this past weekend, and Mina Muhankamur won the table topics out of the entire, all the contestants, obviously. And Lawrence Bull won the international speaker, and they now go through to the area contest. So I'd like to give a big shout out and our biggest support to them going into the next round of this competition. Okay, so can we then just go around with all the guests? I know we asked you just before you came on to introduce yourselves. So, and that was like a short intro. So what I want to get from you now is you can tell us your name, what got you to Toastmasters, what you'd like to get out of Toastmasters, and just a quick thing about who you are, like what your job is, what excites you. And, you know, if you could just take 30 seconds and use this as your first time that you have done public speaking, because this is what it's all about. It's about being able to be in front of other people and be able to just talk. And Toastmasters is all about that. It's, you'll see later when we do the table topics, we have impromptu speaking where we just get up and you just talk. So this introduction of you is the first opportunity you get to be able to have a space to talk. So let us start with Alex. You can't hear Alex?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect, perfect. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to be here tonight. My name is Alex. I'm originally from Austria, living in South Africa for the last 3.5 years, working in finance. And it's my first only online session. It's my third time I visit the club. Very excited to hear about other people speaking, and to listen in how you do the evaluation, what you actually looking for in speeches, and hear the other speeches.
Thank you. Amandisa, do you want to go next?
No problem. Hello, everyone. My name is Amandisa Digo. I am originally from Eastern Cape. I'm a chemical engineering student. What brought me to Toastmasters was I want to enhance my public speaking skills and leadership skills. I heard about Toastmasters from my coach, public speaking coach at RES. So yes.
Okay. And what would you want to get out of the Toastmasters? What is it that you look to get out of it?
That would be standing in a crowd and not only delivering a speech, but also being able to share part of myself, um, helping others through that platform. And yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sean, do you want to go?
My name is Sean. I'm from Cape Town. I'm an entrepreneur, originally an IT specialist, but I then built my own company, still in its infancy. I came across Toastmasters through Meetup. So they probably post their events there. And I think at the time, because it was probably over 2 weeks ago when this event was posted, I had learned from past experiences when it comes to pitching and all of that, that I struggled with articulating myself properly because of confidence, self-doubt. Sometimes you will lose your words. So I would like to develop my speaking capabilities. It's a bit difficult to have this challenge when you are a director of a particular company, because you need to have that confidence so that people can believe in you. So for me, it is a need that I need to deal with as quickly as possible. Thank you.
You're doing well. How do you feel about that?
I'm not sure. I feel good that you are affirming. Thank you so much.
Good. All right. Nyasha. You want to unmute, Nyasha? That's it.
Hello, guys. Yeah, my name is Yasha, and I'm from Cape Town. Basically in EdTech, freelance web developer, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm basically here because public speaking is one of my weaknesses. So I'm trying to iron that out, hence I'm here.
Your mic is not picking up very well, but I heard you say that public speaking is one of your weaknesses. So what is it that you need to use it for or wish to use it for?
Yes. I'm an entrepreneur in EdTech. So I have a tutoring company. So I've realized that it's one of the required skills that I should have within the space, because I get to speak in events and all that. So I want to improve that.
Oh, great.
So
Okay. Well, you're at the right place. Yeah, this is the place for you. Okay. Right. If I pronounce this wrong, Wanjura, please correct me. Is it Wanjura?
Yeah. You pronounced it like a native.
It was a lucky guess.
Very good. My name is Wanjiro. Originally from Kenya, Nairobi. I've been in South Africa for almost 30 years of my life. I live in Cape Town now. I'm a mom of twins. They're at UCT, so I'm almost done with parenting. I I wear two hats. So I'm trained as an attorney. So I did my law degrees at UCT for many years. So on the one side, I'm practicing dispute resolution as a mediator, arbitrator, negotiator. But my main passion is entrepreneurship. So I'm glad to be in the company of like-minded people. I love startups. I am a champion of startups. I have ran a couple of startups. Some have successfully exited, others have burnt me to smithereens. I have a lot of things to say, and that's why I want to be in Toastmasters, because I want to improve my speaking skills. I think what happened during COVID is I became a recluse, and all of us migrating online, we kind of lost that sense of being able to present in person. So I'm feeling a little bit like a fish out of water now that we have to go back to reality. So that's why I'm in Toastmasters. And one of my goals is to launch a podcast sometime this year. I've got content that I need to present powerfully and eloquently. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, so let me get it right this time. Gino. Gino? Gino, you there?
Okay, you will have me in a second. Yeah, I was stuck in traffic, so I'll just go into my place. I'll be able to open my video.
Do you want us to come back to you? Oh, no, there you
Okay, greetings everyone. My
Hello.
name is Mr. Pino Ngobo. So my full name is Tinugwake. Sometimes other people, they find it easy to call my full name. Some other, they get it through like multiple attempts. So a little bit about myself. I stay in Cape Town, but I'm originally born in Durban. So I came here for work. I'm currently working for National Health Laboratory as a medical scientist. I've known Toastmasters for quite a while because during my youth, I'm not sure if I look old, if it's appearing that's no longer youth. So during my youth, I used to attend a lot of entrepreneurial events. So I think that's when I learned about Toastmasters. But it's of a recent that I felt now I need to be a member of this club because amongst my duties at work, I deal with facilitation of internal short courses. So I felt like I need a community like this where I can strengthen my communication skills and speaking publicly and effectively manage all these discussions that undertake at a workplace. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to know what Toastmaster had to offer, to learn from everyone, and to network and just to develop my skills holistically, leadership skills. So yeah, I think I have so much excitement even before being the part of the club. So, and I am quite confident that it will actually happen. So
No, I can see you can talk already. You're on your way. You're well on your way.
Okay, thank you.
So have we done Aisha? Is it Isha? Aisha?
Hi, Sean. It's Ishe.
Isha. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So this is my second time visiting the ToastEd Toastmasters Club. So in terms of what I would like to get, leadership and communication skills, particularly to drive out my career. And I work in IT. Good to hear a couple of guys in that space, and obviously other spaces as well to learn from. And yeah, I think that's a brief summary about me.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thanks. Thank you.
So have we done Nadia? Nadia, I think you're up.
Hi there. So apologies in advance for not having my video on. I'm currently in Australia and it's midnight, so I'm in my pajamas and I don't quite want that shared around. But next time I'm traveling home soon. I'm from Cape Town, so I will be in a more a better appearance. So I'm a medical doctor. I work on cruise ships. So obviously a lot of traveling. With that, I meet a lot of people from all over the world, and I don't have a role with public speaking, but I do have to network quite a bit, and that obviously involves a lot of speaking. So I'd like to just improve that, have more confidence with networking, kind of opening up business opportunities, things like that, holding on to good networks. So that's what I'd like to get out of Toastmasters.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And then have I got Talisha Moodley? Have I pronounced that right?
Yes, thanks. It's
Oh, well.
Talisha. All good.
Got it right.
Thanks, Sean. Yes, so I'm originally from Durban. Been in Cape Town for the past 15 years or so, studied here, and I'm working here. I'm an engineer in consulting, and yeah, so I mostly am behind the screen most days, which is why I am joining Toastmasters as well, just to improve my communication skills and be able to speak to people with a lot more confidence as well. It's my third visit for this club, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the speakers and yeah, learning a little bit more about what you have to say, and yeah, hoping I can improve as much as possible from Toastmasters. Thanks.
You've come to the right place, and you will see tonight as it goes how that could benefit you even more. So yeah, you are welcome. So have I left any of the other guest speakers off? Because we've got so many here tonight. It's so impressive that we've got so many guest speakers. Have I can I just get like from one of my exco, have I left anyone out? Will you shout at me if I haven't? Okay, thank you. Okay, so in Toastmasters, we toast. So if you've got something like a glass of something, wine, or you can drink water if you in Ramadan and fasting. So we toast as to South Africa and all our people. So we can all put your videos on, your voice, your sound on, and we all say it together. So you put your sound on. To South Africa.
Africa. And to all our speakers.
South Africa.
South Africa and all the people.
Speakers was meant to be the thing, but I said that slightly wrong. Okay, so now the president is going to step out and the Toastmaster is sitting in. So I am your Toastmaster for the evening, and I just want to take you through what the agenda is going to be for this evening. We have 3 prepared speeches. One of those speeches is a contest speech that Lawrence is going to rehearse for contest that I told you that he won. And Lawrence is on now, so I just want to acknowledge Lawrence. We said this earlier, that we were congratulating you on your achievements. And Claire, we were just wanting to say to you that we've got your back all the way when you go to the next level of the area contest, and Lawrence will be practicing his contest speech tonight. And then we have Claire doing a speech, and we have Michaela doing a speech. They are doing prepared speeches. Those speeches are between 5 and 7 minutes, and you'll see when we announce those speeches. And then we have table topics a bit later. And table topics is where we do impromptu speeches, where we allow you guys can even step in to do table topics if you would like. If you would like to do table topics and you are one of the guests, then what I suggest you do is in the text chat box, you can just write in the text chat that you are putting yourself forward as a candidate for table topics. And it's great to be able to do that. And I see some of you have already in your intro been able to speak quite eloquently and quite freely. So I ask you to challenge yourself tonight to speak in front of other people, because when you can get to speak sooner in front of people, you overcome that fear of public speaking quicker. And there are only 2 fears we've got. That's the fear of speaking and the fear of dying. So if you had to put that together, the worst thing you can be doing is speaking at your own funeral. Sorry. And you got to have some humor, right? So we have fun here. We like to have fun. We don't want this to be serious. It's not like, you know, there's no, but the blessing about Toastmasters is you don't come here to prove yourself. You come here to improve yourself. So you'd never have to think about getting it right first time and knocking it out the park. This is about incremental improvements and improving yourself over time. So when you just step up and speak, it's always going to get better and better and better each time. So without further ado, then I would want to introduce the roles for tonight. So firstly, we have the R counter. Can I get the R counter? Chantal, would you introduce the R counter role, please? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. Okay, let's come back to Chantal. Can we introduce Sally with the timer role?
Okay. Good evening, Toastmaster, and many guests and other ToastEd members. So nice to be here. Excuse my croaky voice. Not feeling great this evening, but I was too excited not to be here. So I am your timer this evening, and the timer, I will time the speeches and the evaluations, and I'll also time the table topics. So anyone who's brave enough to put their hand up for table topics, you'll be timed. The good thing is the table topics is only to be 2 minutes long. So it could be, and at 1 minute, you'll see my screen behind me turn to green, and at 1 minute 30, it'll go yellow, and at 2 minutes, it'll go red, and means you need to kind of wrap up. So the other speeches that I'll be timing will be 5 to 7 minutes long, and at 5 minutes, you'll see the green background go up, and at 6 minutes, you'll see the yellow background go up, and at 7 minutes, you'll see the red background go up. And at the end, I do like a report back to see what your times were. Toastmasters is a learning space, but when you get to contest level, time is everything. So that's we just get you guys used to it, and we do it every meeting just to get you into it. But nothing bad is going to happen today if you go over your 2 minutes at table topics. Just have fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Chantal, are you ready for the R counter?
I am. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. And I must thank Toastmasters for making me aware of how much I use the word like. I cannot believe how often I use the word like, at about 8 times in a normal sentence. And I'm aware of my children now, especially the youngsters. They use like for anything. So I must thank Toastmasters for making me aware of that. And so I find the R counter an incredibly important role, actually, just in your normal day-to-day speech. But during the meeting, I will be listening for overused words, such as like, and including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds, including and and like. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase, such as I. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker uses the expressions. And I think Claire and I hold the record for filler and crutch sounds, so you will not come even close to our record, so do not worry about that. Over to you, Mr. President.
Mr. Toastmaster, thank you. I moved over here. This was when I was president. Okay, so we have our first evaluator for the night is Claire. And Claire, do you want to come up and just talk about the speech that you'll be evaluating for Michaela?
Thank you, Sean. I'm going to have to wing it because I don't have Michaela's form for her evaluation. So for our guests, we evaluate presentations to help members see what they've done well, where they've got room for improvement. And so it's about encouraging them. We don't evaluate the person, we evaluate what it is that they were speaking about and how they can make it more applicable to the audience, or, just recommending suggestions and what they did really well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Claire. So we have Michaela. It's okay not to be okay, but it's okay not to be okay, but Michaela Helder. Over to you.
Good evening, everyone. It's okay not to be okay, but don't wallow in it. Sit in your feels, but don't let them fester. When you see that ladder dangling in front of you, you grab it with both hands and you climb. Trust me, because I've just reached the top. Growing up with the words, "It's okay," was said as I was lifted into the air after grazing my knees. "It's okay," was reluctantly said in relief as I sobbed to my father, begging for forgiveness after I lied to him for the first time. I compromised my safety, so he had every right to be furious with me. But it was okay because I was safe. "It's okay" became a distant murmur throughout my tone-deaf teenage years. Because no, Mom, it was not okay. That was probably when I started to throw my own pity parties, something that everyone was invited to, but no one was welcome. The "it's okays" moved away from my family and into my friendship circle, where nasty things that were said, all for the upper hand. Growing up as chat platforms developed, the term social media started loosely tie in our words and destroying all meaning. Facebook held power, and so did those who sat behind it. As jealousy cast one spell after the next, the digital world encroached on my life. And soon, I was no longer invited to group chats. That was the first time that I felt the right to not be okay, because what was being done was wrong. Nevertheless, I kept my head down, I pushed myself in academics and sports, I matriculated and earned a degree in self-dignity. Stellenbosch became my first step into the world. Studying humanities, I was surrounded by humanitarians. So walking from class to class, I was reminded of my power, my space, my boundaries, and my emotions. Not being okay was more than okay. It was a right. In fact, we were so encouraged to be in our fields that mindless protests started to take the streets while losing sight of what was really needed to be said. We claimed self-awareness in the same breath that we were drinking, living the student dream and partying. Irony. Feeling like adults, our words stabbed like swords to the system. Emotion and pain being dragged out instead of being made into proactive action. This did not feel okay. But we stuck by it because we were encouraged to feel and express like never before. And it wasn't long before we found ourselves tongue-tied behind politically correct rules, and the loud noises grew softer and softer until only one side was speaking. Now graduating, an army of emotion and self-righteousness stepped in to the real world. Company culture was on the cusp of traditional values, and the idea that humans had feelings was only just being toyed with. So I learned to lock my emotions away because I was there to work and thrive. I became so useful, I was being used. Burnout and lost. I shared my 26th birthday with my first prescription of antidepressants. A concoction of euphoria, I was told. Instead, everything was numb. I knew it was okay not to be okay. I was told that my whole life. So depression became my identity, and my teenage pity party grew into a hollowing wallow parade. But it was fun, because it's okay not to be okay, right? I was still peeling myself out of bed, dressing in clothes I liked, smiling with my friends, eating. No one suspected a thing. Why would they? I created a mask to live behind because the idea it was okay not to be okay meant it was fine. It was normal. Beware. This is a two-way trap. Do not spiral behind your mask. Do not become your diagnosis. Because I did, yet I did nothing to make myself feel okay again. I relied on the notion that emotions demanded to be felt. I lived on the fact that I needed and had the right to be sad. And I did. But heck, I held the responsibility to get myself out of the feelings of despair. No one else could do the work but me. I had so much to feel, yet ignored my body to move. I dressed well, but ignored my dishes. I went out with friends to distract the feeling when I was alone. Enough was enough. My lifeline came down when I mustered all the courage within me to complete my open water scuba diving course. Ego aside and bravery in my eyes, the first time in years, I was more than okay. I was alive. I overcome my fears and I fell in love with another world. Now, I have my not so okay days, but I make damn sure that I pick myself up. I dismiss any lies that filter my mind. I don't take myself seriously. I understand that self-awareness is an ongoing journey and it's best not to follow the crowds. Hard work is important and mind over matter is a philosophy. It's okay not to be okay, but please, please don't wallow in it. Thank you very much.
Whoa, that was fantastic. Well done, Michaela. And you had me when you said the degree in, what was it, self-identity? What was that line?
I matriculated, but I got a degree in self-dignity.
That's so good. And the other thing, you took me back. I've got a 12-year-old kid, and cyberbullying is a thing. And he's got his Snapchat and various other communications. And I've seen sometimes how that makes him feel not okay when he gets like shamed on cyberspace. So yeah, thanks for that. It's a very relevant topic, very relevant. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
So now we move to our second evaluator. Now the second evaluator is not me, but I had to put a name in there. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a group evaluation. I want you to write down one thing about the speech that you can think of. And if you can't, we're not going to call you out. We're not going to go like, hey, it's going to be popcorn. You're going to give us feedback later on when we do the evaluations. But this is a popcorn style evaluation. And it's for you just to pick out something that you saw in the speech that's coming up. So it will be Claire's speech coming up, and I will introduce the speech. So it's Claire van Zyl, smartphone or cell phone. Smartphone or cell phone, Claire van Zyl. Over to you, Claire.
Now, looking at the audience, I'm not so sure many of you know what the original cell phones looked like. The one I had, I've misplaced, and I've got this little one. But if I recall, this still had a color screen. But the old ones were black and white, monochrome. And they could make cell phone calls, receive them, make them, send text messages, and yay, the snake game. Anybody remember that? I got a couple of nods. Okay, cool. So I'm not so old. But do you remember opening the box to a brand new smartphone? The excitement, the anticipation of taking it out of the box and starting it up. all sleek and shiny and new, and you start it up. But it's not a fresh start. There's already stuff loaded on here. Some of it I look and I go, oh, yay, I don't have to download this or that program. And then there are those useless things. Think, why on earth did they put that on there? And you can't take it off. You got to keep it there, taking up space. The best thing you can do is create a folder and put all that useless stuff in the folder. So you clear up your desktop a little bit. Have you ever had those apps and programs that malfunction, that create results that, well, you don't really like? Anybody had that? And the only thing you could do is update the software and boom, the problem is gone. Isn't that fantastic? How quickly we can change those things. So whether it's the Android Play Store or the iPhone Apple Store, whatever they call it, I don't speak Apple, but you get the meaning. And anything you want, you just type in the search bar and you find it. So you need to create spreadsheets on your phone. You find the app, you download it, and you start using it immediately. Isn't it fantastic? And you can update it, just about look for the updates and boom, they're there. Couple of seconds, couple of minutes. It's quick. Now, have you ever thought about changing and upgrading your software? You're looking at me going, what the hell are you talking about? I'm not a computer. I'm not a smartphone. But did you know that we have a hard drive, which is called our subconscious? And it's been programmed from the last 3 months of pregnancy to 7 years, because we're in a state of theta, which is like a hypnotic state. It means all those programs, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, they all just slip in there because we're in a hypnotic state. Now, much like this phone that comes pre-installed, there are some of those beliefs and programs. We didn't choose them, and we certainly don't want them. We might not be able to delete them, but we can overwrite them. Anybody excited about that? It, too, can take a few minutes. But I'm sure, like most of you have experienced, trying to change stuff, reading book after book, attending workshops and courses, and still things stay the same. What if I told you that you can change those limiting beliefs and non-serving programs in less than 15 minutes? Who's excited about that? Anybody? Yay! There are some people excited about that. Great. Because just like your smartphone, you don't have to put up with the nonsense. We don't even bother about putting it in a folder. We just overwrite it. So you ask, but how? I've been told change takes a long time. You have to work hard. Anybody heard those? Yeah, me too. I attended all the courses. I read all the books. I had lots of information in here. But unfortunately, your conscious mind is only in control 5% of the time. And what's on that hard drive, like your smartphone, is what's actually in control until you replace it. Anybody interested in upgrading their software? Because I learned how to do that 4 years ago, and it's transformed my life. I'd like to challenge you that every time you look at your smartphone, we moved from these kind of phones to smartphones for a reason. Don't allow the programs you took on in childhood to control your life, because you didn't choose those beliefs. You didn't choose those programs. Put the cell phone down and take the smartphone. Find the apps that you want. So what am I talking about? If you're getting results in your life that you don't like, decide what you do like. Write it down. If there's a non-serving belief about money, money's the root of all evil, and money doesn't grow on trees, and you have to work hard to earn money. All of those are beliefs, and beliefs can be changed. Are those beliefs serving you? If they're not serving you, let's change them. So when you look at that smartphone of yours, when you use it and you update its software, I'd like to challenge you. Take a pen and write down what you'd like to change. What would you like instead of that belief around money's the root of all evil and you have to work hard to earn money? What would you like instead? And then, if you've got some courage and you want to make the changes, contact me, because I can help you make those changes, each one in less than 15 minutes. If I've piqued your interest, pop me a message in the chat and I'll send you my details. Are you a cell phone or a smartphone, Mr. Toastmaster?
I can see that doing two roles has got people confused. It's Mr. Privilege. All right. Okay, so thanks, Claire. That's yeah, when you were talking about that, it's like it just reminds me about how we've become slaves to smartphones, because when we had cell phones, our screen time was a lot less, because you couldn't get Facebook and all those things. And once it became a smartphone and Instagram and all those things, like our screen time most probably is about 5 times what it was when it was a cell phone. So yeah, so you just reminded me of the old days versus today. And we've become slaves to these devices. I call it they used to call it the BlackBerry prayer, because everyone was looking at their phones. Okay, so now we move to our third speech, and this is even more interesting how we're going to evaluate this. So Lawrence did his speech at the contest this past weekend called Winning Strategy, and Lawrence is going to be practicing that again tonight, but there's a way that we're going to do the evaluation. In the break, which will come after the next educational piece, Lawrence will give us a link to SurveyMonkey, and we can go and evaluate his speech according to questions that he's asked in SurveyMonkey. So this is another way we're going to evaluate tonight. So I have Lawrence Bull's winning strategy, Lawrence Bull.
Is it just me, or is losing the worst, Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen? Picture this, 12-year-old me. In my hands, I'm gripping my PlayStation set like it's the wheel of fortune. My eyes are locked on the screen because FIFA soccer is not just a game. It's the arena of my most epic battle. And my opponent, not a friend, not some random online gamer, no, my dad. Now you'd think, easy win for the tech-savvy kid, right? Wrong. Dad had hands built for kneading dough, and he used his oversized sausage fingers to pound my poor controller with such chaotic precision that he scored goals like a FIFA legend. He had no idea what he was doing, but damn, it was effective. And typical of men everywhere, he basked in the glory of his accidental genius. Now, I was out of options of beating old sausage man, and I couldn't throw yet another tantrum. So I did what any 12-year-old would do. I went to school, and I looked for the high priest of PlayStation to get wisdom. I'll never forget that Wednesday afternoon. It was scorching as I walked down the steps down towards the depths of the IT club. The lair was thick with the scent of pizza, Coke, and sweat. And there he sat, in his warlock cloak, engrossed in a Dungeons and Dragons marathon. His wry smile showed remains of ridicule. His eyes were hidden behind thick glass cages. But this time when he saw me, he knew things were different. I was the vulnerable one. And after pleading my case with him about how I needed to beat my dad, he grinned like the Grinch. And he leaned in, staying in character of the warlock, and he said, "Lawrence, I know about the secret you seek to beat your father. Did you know there is a glitch in the game, a glitch in the matrix, that if you run on the left-hand side of the screen, 20 meters away, you get the Bermuda Triangle of possibility. Kick as hard as you can and you will always score." And he slithered back behind his dungeon. Now, I didn't really believe him, to be honest. I thought it was too good to be true. So I went home, opened up my PlayStation set, played a game against the computer, and it worked. In fact, it worked so well that if there was a defender tackling you and you got it into that triangle of possibility, you still scored. Hell, if even the whole goal was filled with defenders, you still scored. I mean, even if Eskom switched off the lights, you still scored. It was a powerful, powerful strategy. Now, armed with the sacred knowledge, I went back to Sausage Man and I said, time for a rematch. It was going to be of David versus Goliath proportions, but this time, little David as a handgun. Now, the first half, I let my dad score 5 goals. Right? I had the winning strategy. I had an unfair advantage. And during that halftime break, my dad was like a kid on Christmas. He was so excited, elated. He had finally found something that he could dominate me in. And there was a part of me that wanted to let him win, to have this. Until he came with that comment. Just before we started the second half, my dad looks at me and he says, "Lawrence, you play this game for so many hours and you can't beat me. This must be so embarrassing for you." Now, 12-year-old me didn't need much more encouragement to beat my dad, but that pushed me over the edge. Start of the second half, I grabbed the ball, ran on the left-hand side of the screen, 20 meters away, got the Bermuda Triangle of possibility, hit as hard as I could. 1-5. 2-5. 3-5. 4-5. My dad goes from this Zen master to this tempest of frustration as he blames the broken controller. I grabbed the ball like I have 1,000 times in the past, ran on the left-hand side of the screen, scored the tying goal. It was 5-5 with 30 seconds left to play. And this is when I get my moment of revenge. So I click pause. I look up at my dad. And with all the courage that a little 12-year-old could muster, I say, "Dad, this must be really embarrassing for you." Before he gives me a hiding, I press resume. I run on the left-hand side of the screen, 20 meters away. I score the winning goal. And that day I learned 2 unforgettable lessons. Number 1, if you beat and embarrass your dad, a few weeks before Christmas, the Grinch comes and snatches all your gifts away. And number 2, if you want to win, go learn from a winner. You see, this FIFA showdown taught me one thing. Success leaves clues. Whether you're chasing a 6-pack, stacks of cash, or the perfect relationship, there is a high priest that knows the Bermuda Triangle. Now, sometimes life is unfair. Sometimes your controller breaks. Sometimes Sausage Man is too strong and there's no glitch in the matrix that you can make use of. But no matter the hardship, a mentor can make that ride just a little bit easier. Dad and I never played PlayStation again, but that's okay, because I found other arenas in which I've been able to win. And I've won because I've followed others who have already won. So, whatever arena or area you're looking to master, who's the high priest that can help you define your winning strategy?
Yeah, thanks, Lawrence. That was fantastic. So that just reminds me of saying I once heard, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. And if you want to get somewhere in life, it's not the how, it's the who. Who can you go to? Who's your go-to person? It's not necessarily what you're going to do. The how is what you do. The who is the go-to people. And those are the ones that are going to get you down there. So thank you, Lawrence. So now we move on to the third thing, which we would have had as the talk with Mina, but Mina could not make it because of connectivity issues, Eskom and all. So I'm going to give you just a tutorial, a quick tutorial on the pathways, because we've got a lot of new people on here that are guests, and we just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of what are the various pathways that are here in Toastmasters, and then I'm just going to take you into my profile just to show you how you would get onto the pathways. So I think I've got to go to here. Let me just see if I am on the right one. And over there. Can you see that? Let's move this out of my way. And now the wood thing would be blocking my whole screen, right? So that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to just I'm going to stop sharing again. Let me just go. I just want to do this the other way around. Right, that's the pathways. Okay, now I can reshare. Okay. So what is Toastmasters then? So these, can you all see that screen? Okay, so there are 11 pathways. It's dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationships, team collaboration, and visionary communication. When you join us, you will pick your pathway. Now, all of the pathways for the level 1, and I'm going to go to that now to show you that, are identical. So there's no change in level 1. Everyone does the same tasks or the same speeches in level 1. It's in level 2 where you start to branch out into the area that you want to go into. Now, don't get stressed looking at these going, oh, there looks like so many, I don't know which to choose. Toastmasters has an interactive questionnaire that will take you through the questions and pop up the top 3 paths that most appeal to the way you answered the questions, and it will rank them as 1, 2, and 3. You don't have to take those. You can take any one of the others, but there is a tool that they use. And not only that, is when you join Toastmasters, we will give you a mentor, and also because I'm the VPE, I will engage you personally around your pathway. So if you have maybe 2 that you couldn't decide on, and you don't know which way to go, and you don't want to toss that coin, you could then get hold of me and say, these are the two that I've kind of like got it down to. I just want to get a little bit more insight from you, Sean, as to which one we better, and I'd ask you a few more questions, and that will refine it down to the path you want to take. So I will stop sharing again so I can get to the next one. So this is what your path would look like when you are it'd be nice if it just stayed the way it was, but it didn't. So it goes back to my club. This is the thing about live events. Technology is never the way you want it to be. It's now okay. So I can't get you into my path because it's left that. So I'm going to skip going into my path because the technology just is now failed me. And maybe I can do that after the dinner break. I can come back in and just show you a path, because then it'll give me time to go back into that. Okay, so now what are we at? Yes, we're a bit over the time. So now we'll take a 15-minute dinner break. And Lawrence, you would just need to show us how you want the Survey Monkey to go. So will you pop that into the...
Ready in the chat.
Is it in the chat already?
Yeah.
I see there it is. I say feedback HTTP. Okay, so we'll take dinner for 15 minutes. So we're back at 15:15. Can we do that 7:15, Sergeant at Arms? That's 5 minutes over. Can we do that for our break? Everyone happy with that? Back at 15:15. You obviously know where your toilets are, so I don't need to tell you where the toilets are. So you can just get a quick, and if there's any ones that want to engage us during the break, our computer, our cameras and that will still be on. Okay, 15:15. Thanks, everyone. Plate, please. And she's evaluating Michaela's speech.
Thank you very much, Sean, and especially Michaela. Thank you very much for sharing your story and your speech. The vulnerability and the courage to be vulnerable, I really commend you for that. It's one of those topics that many suffer with, and we just keep quiet. And by sharing our stories, we help other people know that they're not alone. So thank you very much. And I loved how you took a topic that can be extremely heavy, but you peppered it with all of these moments of humor. And I loved your word pictures and how creative you were. I don't know what. Sorry, I've got messages coming up about, am I speaking Arabic? AI sometimes isn't so clever. Anyway, so the word pictures, I love those. You had about climbing the ladder and degree in self-dignity. That was beautiful, because that's something we all need. About words stabbing like swords, your concoction of euphoria, peeling yourself out of bed. It helped us to really get in there with you and understand how you were feeling. As I said, I loved the way that you used humor to lighten the speech, and you had great eye contact with us. You also used your voice beautifully, changing the pitch, the tone, and obviously the volume. You could perhaps have used changed your volume a little bit more, had bigger differences between them. And the one thing I wanted to suggest was pauses. You had such a beautifully scripted speech, and I was like battling to keep up with, because I wanted to be able to soak in and absorb the beautiful language, but then you moved on to the next one. So that's one suggestion, is just use more pauses to help us really take in your message. I loved the topic about it's okay not to be okay, and then also for you to say, hey, but don't wallow in it. So you gave us some tips as well as sharing your journey. The other thing which I also didn't do was perhaps stand, because when we stand, it gives us more opportunity to use the rest of our body instead of just this part. So when we stand, we just support our message. We can use body language and gestures more to support what we're saying. But I loved your speech, the vulnerability that you showed, how carefully you crafted and cleverly you crafted your message. Just use more pauses and perhaps suggest standing up. But you captured our attention at the beginning. You kept our attention throughout the speech, and then you rounded it off nicely. So well done, Michaela, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, pausing is definitely my weakness, so glad I'm back.
Thank you, Claire. That was a great evaluation. So now you've seen a taste of what an evaluation is. So you're looking for the areas that you're complimenting, and there's an area that that person can always improve. And the way it's always put across is even better if you maybe looked at this. And there's always like the ratio normally is like 3 to 1. You'd have 3 things that you normally find that are really great about the speech, and there's an area that they can improve. So that was great, Claire, and a great model of the evaluation to come, the group evaluation that we are now going to do on Claire's speech. So what I will do is I'll first use some of my senior people that are around the table to open it up so that you can see how they would do it. And what I ask is that you just give one great thing, and if there was one area to improve, one. And in this case, we're only doing 1 for 1 because we don't have the time to do 3 and 1 with a lot of people, because we, the luxury of time is not there. So if I could maybe ask Lawrence, if you can come on, Lawrence, and just give Claire one thing that was great and one thing that if there was an improvement, what would be the one thing to improve? And Claire can take that because she's a very senior person, so she's been around a long time.
I don't know whether Lawrence is still here.
Lawrence, you there? Oh, did he drop off? Okay. Well, then I will go to Gabriella.
Claire, I've written it already in the personal, in the chat box. I liked your body language very much. You were much more expressive, filling this very stimulating talk with an appearance which was as stimulating as what you said. So that was very nice together. And as well, your language. You used a variety of different words for the same subject. So your spread of wordsmithing, I found, was excellent. I must admit, in the moment, I would not know what to recommend to you. Maybe the same, like you said to Michaela. If we stand, it's always, and you will stand when you give this talk, perhaps, standing will allow more of an impact from you as a person. But excellent. Thank you very much.
Michaela, I know that you are still busy there. So did you want to catch you before?
A lot going on today.
Okay. Do you want to give us one thing that was great and one thing that could improve?
Yes, sure. Well, Claire, I've always enjoyed that you brought in props. You always know how to start your speech off by kind of welcoming us, but we still don't know what you're going to talk about. So you start breaking it down further and further until you get to your ending and your conclusion, and then it makes it a full circle. So I really enjoy that you carried on to do that. I totally agree with you on the standing part. I think that also comes with nerves and practice, and it's kind of a nice way to hide behind a camera, but that's not reality. So yeah, that is also something that I would encourage you to do. Maybe we can hold each other accountable for that. But otherwise, I really enjoyed the analogy. It was very clever. It made me think a lot of things and when to update my software. So thank you very much.
Okay, Claire, so I'll give you one and one great one to improve, and then we'll hand it over to some of our visitors, if we can have some of the guests give some feedback. I love the use of the old, when you put the old cell phone up there, it's like suddenly it just takes you back so many years. But look at that going, God, geez, people still have things like that. So your camera interaction, your voice modulation, and the props are just like, that stands out. That's fantastic. So then you said that the smartphone is in control of our subconscious. But then you went on to say, this is the area to improve that. I just wanted to see if you've got this the way I understood it, is the program we took on in life is controlling our lives like the cell phone. I think it's smartphones controlling our lives, because there's so many more things you can do on a smartphone than you can do on a cell phone. So I think that needed to just be swapped. But that would be my only thing to improve it. Otherwise, great. Okay. Right, so if we could get some feedback, anyone, if you want to speak, you can just come in and yes, Andrea, go for it.
Hi, Claire. Thank you very much for your speech. I particularly enjoyed your comparison between the old iPhone and the new iPhone, and the size, the small old one, old beliefs, things that you need to let go of, and the new iPhone. It was very visual, and also how that tied into real life and our emotions and dropping our beliefs and breaking all those patterns. I thought that was a great analogy. One of the things that I would like to suggest is, I think you did ask the audience a few too many times, maybe, what did you think? I thought it was maybe a few too many times, asking if anyone was influenced by this, or who's ready to change. Maybe keep it to like 2 or 3 or 4 times as opposed to 6 or 7. But otherwise, I thought you were absolutely great. Well done.
Great feedback, Andrea. Thanks. Alex, are you sizing up, or you just?
I was just clapping, but I'm happy to give Claire some feedback. Claire, thank you very much for an excellent speech. It's actually the second time I've seen you speaking, and another excellent speech, I have to say. The way how you use intonation, breaks, how the variation in speed is actually excellent, and I think on a very, very high level. I specifically liked how you did the loop from the phone to the mind, to the call of action in the end. I think that was excellently done. If I would improve something, I would go in line with the previous evaluator, and I think the questions were really good to capture the attention of the audience. Maybe there've been 1 or 2 too much. Other than that, an excellent speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Helanda, you have something you want to say? Would you open up?
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster, hi everyone. I get a great message from Claire's speech, and that message is that we are human, and as human we have to be in control. We have to control our beliefs, no matter how technology is guiding our lives. At the end, we have to control. We have to control our beliefs, our soul, our thoughts, because the world is made of people, and people has to contact each other and make things better, no matter technology gets in our lives. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all we've got time for, because we don't want to run the clock. In public speaking, you never run the clock. So thank you very much for that group evaluation. I think that was fantastic. And if any of you haven't commented to Lauren's one in the Survey Monkey, please do that as well. So now we move over to that interesting part of the evening, that where we do impromptu speeches. And I'll now hand over to Gabriella to tell us what the table topics is going to be for the night. Gabriella!
Thank you, dear Mr. Toastmaster. It's wonderful this evening to be with you. Yeah, table topics hones the skill of creating an impromptu response. that is focused, compelling, and engaging. And you will learn in practicing often enough, within 2 minutes, in the times to come, you will learn to be an impromptu speaker who has something to say of value. And I would like to give you one advice. Please, when you have heard the question, take your time and think about it. I saw it in the competition as well. People started to speak immediately. And our Mina, who is the winner of Table Topics, she took her time, she thought about it, and then she came very calmly over with what she had to say. So please take your time. You don't have to speak immediately. May I ask in the round of you who would be prepared to give a little 1 to 2 minute speech? I have got volunteers here as well, but maybe first of all, I look at a show of hand. And on my computer, I don't have all the members or the guests on my computer. It's only a part of them. So I need somebody, perhaps Sean, then to help me to not to oversee. Is there anybody who would like to lift their hand and say, I take part? Otherwise, I call up, because it's okay not to be okay. And if you are not okay with table topics, it's okay. So yeah, it's like a cat chasing its tail. Okay, so I don't see any hand. Then we had this amazing opportunity that one of the guests or 3 of the guests in the forefield already said, maybe I would like to do table topics. Gino, may I come back to you? Where are you? Yeah. Would you be prepared to do table topics? Give it a go.
It's okay. Not
unmute
okay.
yourself. Okay. Would you like to give me a number between 1 and 8?
Between 1 and 8.
Yeah, you give me a number, then I tell you what the question is.
All right, let's take 4.
4. Sure. Oh God, Gino. You have decided to change your sexual orientation. What would you tell the world why it is okay for you? So you would change either to another sex, or you would just, be with the same sex. Or today there is this long list of words, whatever it is, of letters. So you stand up for the world. It's okay. The world think it's not okay. You think it's okay. What do you tell the world why it is okay? And you don't have to speak from a male point of view. Any.
That was a really difficult one. Is it possible to take a different number?
Yes, you can. But
all right,
I can give you one as well.
Okay, cool.
The negative effects of social media are spoken about everywhere. Which of the social media would you choose not to be part of and be okay with it?
Okay, that's fair.
Shoot.
I've got 2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Greetings once again to everyone. I am faced with a very short pitch of presentation. Talk about which one of the social media that I would choose not to be the part of it. And it is okay. Personally, I'm not a person who is actually very active in social media. Whereas most of my peers, or in this world, I think almost everyone is in social media. So sometimes it happens that you find so much pressure when they speak about things happening in Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and you are so clueless about it. Honestly, I think today now, it looks like you should know it. So you are more likely not to feel okay that you are unaware of some hot topics or scandals that are happening in people's life, mainly the famous individual. So personally, I would find it okay not to be in Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think there could be many people who completely agree with you. Somebody else who would like, to take the challenge. How about, is Blessing here? Okay, Ishe. Yeah, Ishe, hello. Thank you, Ishe, for coming along.
Thank you.
Ishe, do you have children?
No, I don't have children.
Okay, but now just imagine you had a child. What would you tell your child? Why it is okay not to be okay?
How much thinking time do we have, and how much is?
You actually would have 30 seconds to think, and then you can.
Okay. Gee, all right. I think you have to start somewhere, right? So if I've got a child, what would I tell them when it's okay not to be okay? So I imagine a teenage daughter, and the daughter comes home, tells me, Dad, something has happened at school. They had a crush. The crush didn't reciprocate those feelings. They're sitting there and telling me the story. And I would, in that instance, sympathize with them, tell them the various sort of the other side of the world, of the coin, that, there will always be someone out there who would find them attractive, or that would have a crush on them as well. So in actual fact, the crush who has declined her in this case isn't the end of the world. And indeed, it can be very hard because everything is like the world is coming to an end, especially with teenagers and, with the hormones raging and all of that. So in that case, my message to them will be, listen, your feelings are very valid, and this has happened to me as well, and I would share stories of my heart getting broken and the like. And I'll just hold her hand, hug her tight, tell her that indeed it's okay not to be okay. Thank you.
Ishe, I hope in my next life I will be your daughter. Such a nice father you're going to be. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nadia, would you be prepared to come in? I don't see whether Nadia is still there.
I can try it.
Yes, okay. Nadia, I've experienced yesterday, I was at a school where young ladies are learning in grade 11 to do Toastmasters, to speak. And there was a young girl who had a stutter, and it was absolutely amazing what she told us about it's okay not to be okay. So imagine you were born either with a stutter or with some other difficulty. What would you tell us? That it's okay not to be okay, because there might be enormous resilience in you. You have learned a lot. So what would you tell us why it is okay to be born with something which other people think is not okay?
Okay, so I'm going to to talk about it with two different stories. So one, personally, I've done quite a bit of, as I've told you before, traveling. But a lot of the time when I travel, I do solo traveling. And that's difficult both ways. One, in that you get a lot of challenges that you have to deal with yourself. And often quite a lot of questions from people around as to why you're traveling alone. Don't you have friends? Don't you have family? People that don't quite understand your story. So I think, using personal experience, I would explain about having a disability, in that often you have a fear, or you do something that's not seen as socially acceptable, but you do it anyway. And you often find that it's your own personal journey, your own personal story, that fulfills you, and it has nothing to do with other people. So that is something that it's difficult to get, because obviously society or societal opinions are quite strong. People compare themselves to other people quite easily. So that's something that is a personal journey for each person. And then the second story is that often a disability is seen as individual, but from what I've read, and obviously I'm in the medical field, is how we deal with disability is that it's the world that's not quite ready to encourage disabled people to live a normal life. So it's not actually a disability for yourself, it's a disability in that the world is not accommodating people of different abilities, which is not, it's more a problem with society and not with the individual. So you need to have confidence in the fact that with your disability, you are not actually handicapped, and you can do anything that other people can do as well. So thank you.
Nadia, beautifully spoken, and that you had two examples you brought, and you are so right. It is about the values of society, and it's not about the individual, it's about society, which is condemning, depending as well in which country or religion we grow up, and then it can be very, very difficult. So thank you. That for a Toastmaster guest to speak so freely already is just admirable. Is it right, Sean or Sally? It's 7:41, and it's the time ends of the table topics. Am I right?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, in the interest of keeping up with time, we're going to have to leave it at that. Thank you very much, Gabriella. And thank you to those people that spoke so eloquently for the first time. That is absolutely incredible. These speeches were so fantastic. You know, you should all be proud of what you've done. This is fantastic. So now we go to the times. And Sally, can you give us the evaluated times, please? And I think it's only one, right? So it's one evaluated time, Sally, and then we'll go into the table topics afterwards.
So the one evaluated time I had was for Claire, and she was 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Well done, Claire.
Thank you, Claire.
I'll do the speaker ones or
you can do the speaker ones now.
Yeah. So for Michaela, I had 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Claire, 7 minutes and 26 seconds, and Lawrence, 6 minutes and 57 seconds.
Thank
all
you.
in time.
And thank you. And the table topics now, please.
A table topic. I have I can't pronounce your name right. Gino, is it Gino?
Yes,
probably
Gino.
wrong. 1 minute 38 seconds, and then Ishi is 1 minute 40, and Nadia was 1 minute 52 seconds.
Thank you very much. So now we go.
Everybody was in.
Thank you. So now we go to the voting for table topics. So there will be a QR code that will appear on the screen, and you pick which of the three you choose as your thing with your phone. You scan it with your phone. Let's do that now. You just gotta wait for them to come up. Okay. Right. So let's do that. There's too many speakers on this, Sally. Sally, it's not the right one. Sally?
Have I done it wrong?
No, it's not the right one.
Okay. Hold on a second. I'll just stop share. Justine's usually the pro at this.
The second time you had the right one.
Did I?
Yeah, you had the best evaluator and table topics. So
But
it's
did
loaded
it
the
have the
correct.
right, did it have the right form attached?
Yes, yeah. Nadia, Isha, and Sino.
Okay, hold on. I'm going
Yes,
to
the
find it
second
now.
one was correct.
I've closed it all now. 1 second. Sorry. Give me a minute. Can you just come back to me, please?
I can come back to you. So can we move to the R counter report then? Are you ready for that R counter report?
I am ready, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks, Chantal. Chantal, R counter report.
Okay, I would just like to comment that obviously the prepared speeches and the people that have prepared were very were very fluent and well spoken in that they did not really use any crutch words that I picked up, other than Claire, you perhaps stuttered on one word, which, you know, can you count that or not? So the prepared speeches were really good. Then we're going to look at the more on the fly speaking, and there's some room for improvement. Sean, your crutch word is Michaela, small r and Andrea, your crutch word is Alex, r's, your crutch word would be r and then one Herlander, your crutch word is r and a few repeats. Gabrielle, you enjoy Gino, for a table topic, you use very few crutch words, one and one so. Ishe, your crutch word is which means you use it quite a few times. Nadia, you enjoy the word Sally, also enjoying the word Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you for that very comprehensive report. And I will reflect on how many I'm saying. And I am not going to buy you that coffee because remember I said you could only compliment me tonight. Just kidding. All right, Sally, have you got the time, the screen right, the voting?
Yeah, I
okay.
think this one should work now.
So we can just get our voting done. Yeah. Perfect.
Have I managed?
Yes, that's perfect.
Am I finished?
I think if you give them another 10 seconds, then you can take it off. Has everyone scanned the QR code? Okay, you can take it off then. And when you've got the, then you can give us the winner. So would you, will you tell us when you're ready?
Yeah, I'll tell you when I'm ready. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, 1 second.
And the winner of table topics tonight.
Hey, can I share the screen again?
Yes. Is drum roll. Long drum roll.
Technically challenged. 1 second. The two screens open. Share screen. Desktop.
And the winner is?
And then you got to do drum roll.
Drum roll.
Nadia, I haven't
Nadia,
updated
well
that.
done. Well done, Nadia. All the table topics were really fantastic tonight. So it was so close. But there had to be a winner, and well done to all of you for stepping up. So I now end the evening as the Toastmaster. So as your Toastmaster, I now hand back to the President to give the President's closing address. Hello, I'm your President. So I would want to get some comments and feedback from the guests, but in the interest of time, I want you to give me one word or one sentence or one phrase that you took away from tonight. And if we can start with Alex, let's go with you. You're a visitor, so but like not a guest, but let's have the one word from you.
In summary, a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gino.
11 pathways.
Say that again?
11 pathways.
11 pathways, okay. Then Isha?
The word I think that interested me was recluse. Recluse or recluse. Yeah.
Nadia?
I think what stuck with me was mentor.
Okay. And Nyasha?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, mentorship.
Well, and if you join Toastmasters, we got fantastic mentors. We got the best mentors in the world. So if you come and join us, we will give you that mentorship. Then Sheila?
I'm not sure if you mean me, Talisha.
Yeah, sorry. I now got it wrong. I was doing so well until 5 seconds ago. Sorry, Talisha.
For me, I think the topic, once again, it's okay not to be okay. That stuck with me. So yeah, really enjoyed the speakers and the theme for tonight as well. So thank you.
Thank you for coming. It's great having you. And Wanjura?
I enjoyed listening to all the speeches, but I think what stood out for me was the coaching. I think I'm going to do well in this club. I was just telling somebody on WhatsApp that I've been stalking this group for a while, and I think it's probably the best Toastmasters group I have seen, and that's why I availed my time. And today I see why. You're probably the best club. Yes, I enjoy the coaching, and I think I will thrive here.
Thank you Thank you so much for that. That's warming our hearts. And then I just want to say in closing, thanks to my committee members that take the time to put this agenda together and take on the roles as well. I did want us to find time to book for roles for next time. So I'm not going to ask you guys now to sign up for roles because I think we've run out of time. But I am asking you when I call for roles on the Toasted group next, that people will step up generously for roles. And with that, I bid you a good night, and I wish you love, peace, joy, and happiness. Thank you for being here. Namaste. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Sean. You were
Good
great.
night.
Thank you, Sean.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Night, everyone.